This is the face of the fastest growing refugee crisis in the world. South Sudan's most recently displaced in a quickly improvised transit camp across the border in northern Uganda. About 6,000 left the town of Pajok in just 9 days. They are farmers and were preparing for the rainy season that has just started. They say government soldiers overran their villages, which were under the control of the country's main armed opposition group, SPLM-IO. Markonek has only just made it here. He sent his 7 children ahead and stayed back to protect their property. This is all he could salvage.
The war started last Monday. Government forces came and started fighting with rebels at the barracks. Then the soldiers came to our village and started shooting at us.
LUCIA OUMA says her son was shot dead inside his house. She took her other children and ran into the bush.
While in the bush, we were eating mangoes. As we tried to find our way out, I was very afraid.
Aid agencies are scrambling to provide refugees with the basics. It's not easy. Resources are stretched. The United Nations Refugee Agency has more than 800,000 South Sudan refugees to deal with in Uganda and very little money.
You can only move as fast when the resources are available. So if partners are now also dealing with many refugees in many parts of Uganda and pulling them out to bring here the focus and attention is added stretch for them.
People here have to make do with the little they brought with them and the small amount of aid available.
The refugees are getting grain, high-energy biscuits and flour from WFP. They're also getting help from the local community here and their relatives who are in the diaspora. But there's not enough shelter, so many of them are sleeping out in the open.
17-year-old Mary Amal and her siblings are among around 600 children who came without their parents.
We left our dad at home. Our dad has been killed.
How about your mom?
We left her on the way because he was tired.
As we left, they still had not heard from their mother. UNHCR's plan is to relocate the refugees to a more established camp some distance from here. Some want to get as far away as possible from the horrors they witnessed. Others want to stay closer to the border, to their homes, and wait for relatives whose fate they're still unsure of. Catherine Soy, Al Jazeera, Ngomoromo, northern Uganda.